So welcome back students. So today we are starting with a new chapter and the name of the chapter is conditional and looping structures. So we are going to understand what are conditional and looping structures, and the conditional structure is what we are going to understand today. Okay. Now you may refer the book that I have told you. It is the same children, everything is same, but what matters is what I'm going to teach you. Okay, so it's not like I'm going to teach you in a particular book or something, and I'm going to give you the notes also, so do not worry about the notes. I'm going to teach you everything, and then I'm going to provide you my own notes as well. So you can refer the book that you have purchased, even that is okay. And this is the ebook. Yeah, this is a very old ebook because it belongs to the old version of 2.7, but it's still okay because as a beginner it is more than sufficient for you. So I'm not taking the second chapter, and the reason behind that is the functions we do not have in the syllabus for class 11. It has shifted in class 12. So we are going to learn about functions in class 12. Okay. Now what we are going to learn from today is absolutely very important for you. Please understand this, because the construct and the looping construct is something that is going to lay down the foundation for you as a computer programmer. If your concepts of the compound statement, that is a conditional and the looping statements, if it is not clear, then it is going to be very problematic for you in the future. So conditional and the looping structures is what is going to matter for you in the future a lot. So your concept of the conditional structure and the looping construct, okay, needs to be very much clear. Okay, so what we are going to understand in this particular chapter is understand the concept and usage of selection and iteration statement. Okay, selection and iteration statement is what we are going to understand in this particular chapter. We are going to understand today about the selection statements. Okay, knows various types of loops available in Python, analyze the problem, decide and evaluate conditions, will be able to analyze and decide for an appropriate combination of construct, write code that employ decision constructs, including those that employ sequence of decision and nested decision. Now this is all that, okay, is going to be in this particular chapter. Then design simple applications having iterative nature. What exactly is iterative? Okay, we are going to understand in this particular chapter. So let us just read a bit of theory, and then I'm going to tell you everything what exactly it is practically. So flow control structure is basically, such as depending on time of the day, you wish good morning or good night to people. So it depends on the flow of structure. Similarly, while writing programs, we almost always need the ability to check the condition and then change the course of program. Okay, the simplest way to do so is using the if statement. So the if construct is what we are going to understand today. It is also called as the select statement. So let us switch to the Python, and I'm going to go to the script mode. So I will be going to the script mode, and let me have a value that is a variable a, and the value is 12. Okay, or let us do it this way. Let us accept the value from the user. So I'm going to use that int, and I want this as a number, as an integer, and that is the reason why I have used that int and then opening bracket, and inside, okay, this is the int function, int opening and closing bracket. Inside that I'm going to have the input function. This is the input function, and I'm going to display the message enter your age, something like this. And name of the variable I'm going to give like candidate. Remember I told you that, you know that the names, you have to use proper names of your variable. So candidate is equal to, and then int, and there is an input function. So this is basically going to accept from something from the user, right? And then I'm just going to check if I want to check whether, that basically this candidate is a adult or a child, or means I need to check whether the age of that candidate is above 18 or below 18. Okay, so what I can do is, if I want to apply some checkings, I'm going to make use of a keyword. Name of the keyword is if, that is if, and you can see the color of that particular has changed to orange, which indicates that this is a keyword. Okay, this is a keyword. If, then give a space, and then you need to give a condition. Okay, so that is the basic format. In fact, they have shown the syntax over here, and this is the syntax, children. If, then give a space, and then apply your condition, followed by the colon, then the statements. Okay, now slowly I'm going to make you understand. So let us go to the script mode again, and I'm going to say candidate. I'm going to apply that check, that candidate, if it is greater than or equal to, okay, greater than or equal to 18, and then followed by a colon. So you don't need to give a space, you can give a colon straight away, that's okay. And you also don't need to give a space out here, but then I prefer to give space because that looks more readable. Right now this is more readable to you. I cannot give a space out here because that's one relational operator, that is greater than or equal to. So this is the relational operator, this is, what is the candidate, okay, this is the name of my variable, and this is the value that I'm comparing it. So whatever value the user enters, that value is going to get compared to the value that is 18. And remember what happened with this, we use the straight away the print function, inside that we use the relational operator. And what was the output of that? The output was, that was a boolean output, and the boolean output was either true or false. Either it was true or either it was false. Similarly, even this is going to generate either true or either false. Depending on that, I am going to do something for the user. I am going to display some message for the user that if it is greater than or equal to, and I'm going to say you are an adult. Okay, that is the message. And now there is something that has happened over here, that is the indentation. Now this is a new word, this is indentated, or this is indentation. Okay, what is indentation? The indentation is basically a space that you can see. Now this is around 4 spaces. Okay, you can see these 4 spaces that was automatically, you know, when once I type that colon, after that colon, when I press entered, and automatically it took that 4 spaces. Okay, so it is actually telling you that now inside this if statement you are supposed to type your statements from here, that is after the 4 spaces, and that is indentation. What does this mean is that, what does this mean is that this particular print statement, okay, this particular statement comes under this if statement. Okay, and now let me just run this, and we are going to do something, that is test.py, that's the name. And okay, I'll say yes, and let us give a value. Now give a value that is 20. Okay, 20, and now we have the output, that is you are an adult. Okay, and again if I run this and I give the value as 12, okay, uh, or 10. So if I enter and there is no output, now this doesn't look good, right? If I give 10, there is no output. Now why this happened is because first we will understand why this happened, and then we are going to do something that even if it is lower than 18, then we are going to, display some message. Okay, so let me close this. Now what happened over here, this particular condition became false because the value that I provided was 10. Since 10 is not greater than equal to 18, the condition was false. Since this was false, this particular statement did not got executed. Why? Is because this particular statement comes under this if statement. this particular statement will only get executed if this condition goes true. Only when this condition goes true, this particular statement is going to get executed. Okay. So what is the solution? If it is lower than 18, then what I can do is probably I can have one more if statement, and I say candidate, if it is lower than equal to 18, then a colon, and press enter. Now inside this if statement, I'm going to say you are not an adult. Okay, something of that sort. Now if I run this, now we are going to have some output. If I give 10, now we are going to have you are not an adult. Depending on the value, we are getting this output. Okay, let me run this one more time, and if I give something like 22, you are an adult. So now this is a successfully, it is running everything, right? So this is a program where we are checking the age of the candidate. Depending on the age of the candidate, we are displaying the message. So this is a simple straightforward program. But again, there is some problem, and the problem is a more of a logical problem. And the problem is that if this candidate value is 10, this condition goes false, and this condition will go true, and so it is going to print this value. So, and if it is greater than 18, suppose the value is 20, so this particular condition goes true, and it is going to print this. Okay, now since the value is greater than 18, okay, and the value that got printed was you are an adult, and the the purpose was solved, isn't it? But still, what is going to happen? The program is still going to check whether that candidate is less than equal to 18, and that is not a good logic. So what I can do for this, for such a situation, I can remove this, and I can apply a else part. So else is also a keyword. Everything that you see in orange is a keyword. So I'm going to give a else part to this particular if statement. Okay, so this if statement will have a else part, else and then colon, again press enter. It is going to take that indentation automatically, and if you really want to go back, just press backspace, it will just come out of that indentation. So I will say print, and then I will say you are not an adult. Okay, and then I press enter. Now it is still under the indentation. If I press the backspace, and then I come out of that indentation. Okay, this is how you can do it. So now what is going to happen over here is, if this condition is true, it is going to print this statement, and then the else part will not get executed. Okay, again I repeat, if this particular statement goes true, then the print statement is going to get executed, that is you are an adult, and the else part will get ignored, will get skipped. Okay, but if this particular condition goes false, if this goes false, then do the else part. Okay, which means if this goes false, then the else part will get executed. Okay, so now if I run this, what is going to happen is, if I give 10, we have an output, you are not an adult. So what happened? The else part got executed. Now if I run this again, and if I give something like 20, you are an adult. Now this is working perfectly fine. In fact, it was working before also, but the logic was not that good. But this is a much better logic. So if this condition goes true, then why would I check any other condition? So the else part is totally ignored, and if this condition goes false, then this is going to get skipped, and this is what is going to get executed. Okay, so this is how it is all about, children. So this is how you're going to use the if and the else, if else statement. So if there is any situation where you have a condition and you need to print something depending on that condition, so you can do that. And if there is something, okay, if the condition goes false, then you want to do something else, then there will be an else part for it. So you can have that else over here. So I hope that this is pretty clear to you now. Now let us do one more program. So this is one program that I did for you. And I'm going to copy this and save it into a Word file, and I'll give that to you. Okay. So let me just, that is, you can give name to this program. That is, make it a bit bigger. And, so program to check whether the candidate is adult or not. Okay, so that was the first program that we did, children. And I'll just underline this. Let us switch back to Python and let us do one more program. And the program will be that will be of even and odd. Okay, let us check whether a number is even or odd. So I'll give something like a number, and then I'm going to change this, that is number. And what is the condition that I'm going to check out here? I'm going to say that if number, and I'm going to do some calculations. Okay, you can do it two ways. I'm going to show the first way, that is I'm going to say something like answer is equal to, then I'm going to take that number and I'm going to mod that, divide that by 2. I'm going to collect the remainder. So if I use that percentage sign, it is going to be number mod 2. So any number, if I divide by 2, if the remainder is 0, it is a even number, and if it is 1, it is an odd number. So I'm going to collect that into that answer, and then I'm going to say if answer, if it is equal to, now when I say equal to, the relational operator equal to, that is 2 equal to sign. Okay, 2 assignment operator basically. So if it is equal to 0, then I'm going to say that the number is even. Okay, and then the else part straight away I can give and say that the number is odd. Looks good. Let us just run this now. Now if I run this, okay, the message is not right. So the message should be enter a number. Now if I run this, so enter a number, if I give some number like this, it says the number is even. And again if I run this and give something like this and 7, and it says the number is odd. So this is perfectly working fine. What we can do over here is, in spite of creating another variable, that is answer, we can straight away remove this and straight away do the calculation in the if statement as itself, that is number mod 2. Okay, number mod 2. So the calculation is going to get performed out here, the answer is going to come out here, that is the number is going to get divided by 2, the remainder is going to get replaced over here, and then that number is going to get compared with the value 0, and then we are going to have the output. So we can do it this way, children. This is a much better way. So any number, if I have, the number is even. Okay, so this is the program for checking whether a number is even or odd. So let me just paste this out here, and the message, the program is going to be, the question of the program to check whether the number is even or odd. Okay, so that's the second program. And then we can do one more program, that is to check whether the largest of two number. So I will take number 1, or simply I will say a out here. So, and I say enter first number, and I will take b, just copy this and paste it, and I say enter second number, and then I can say if a is greater than b. Okay, if a is greater than b, I can print a message like this, that is a comma is, then the message is greater than comma b. Okay, and let me give a space over here also. Acha, the comma anyway takes space, so it's okay. Otherwise, else what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the reverse of that, that is b out here and a out here. Now if I run this, and if I say that is 34 and second number is 12, so it says 12 is greater than 34. Okay, there is something wrong that went. So if a is greater than b, acha, this thing, uh, okay, if a, acha, this thing I have to remove this condition, something really went wrong. Okay, so this is how it is going to work now. Okay, do not worry. So enter the first number 34 and 12, and it says 34 is greater than 12. Okay, and if I run this again, something like that is 12 is greater than 4. Okay, so it's working fine. So this is the program for checking the which is the bigger number among the two numbers. Now children, I am going to give you a homework to check for the largest number between three numbers. What we did today was between two numbers. You can do it for three numbers. Try it children, definitely you can do it. You can refer the book if you want, absolutely not a problem, as long as you actually study and understand it. Okay, so I'm gonna save this to check greater among two numbers. Okay, something of that sort. Okay, let me just make it a bit smaller because I want that in one page. So children, I'm going to give this, save this for today. First, let me just save this in my PC. That is the D colon and folder is 11 programs. Okay, something like programs I'm going to say and save it. So today we have learned about the if statement, and we have learned about the indentation. What exactly is indentation? Be very careful children with the indentation. If you do not follow the indentation rule, it is going to give some error. So if I give something like one space, three spaces, though it is going to give me an error children, please understand. Now this is not giving me an error because I am not once that statement comes, okay, it is going to show me an error. I will show you. So I'm going to give this as small and this as big. 12 is greater than, just a minute. Okay, so I need to give the second number as big. So 2 and 12. Okay, so you need to follow that indentation children. This is going to give you an error, just a minute. So else part, 2 and 12, it is still working. Okay, it considers that, just a minute, if I give some more statement, let me just check. Children, if you do not follow, it is going to give you an error. Okay, so this is right now this is it is working, but it is going to, normally it is going to give an error if you do not follow that thing. For example, if I, okay, how should I just show you the error is, okay, let me just do something of that sort. Okay, and now it is saying that, okay, unexpected and indented block. Okay, so it is giving me an error children. It will give you an error if you do not follow this. Okay, understand it. So right now, okay, it is just taking that one space, two space as indentation, but it is normally it is not going to work, children. Okay, so it is again giving an error, expected an indented block. So please be very careful when you give this indentation. So once you press enter after the colon, see, after the colon, once you press enter, so make sure that wherever your cursor comes down, so your next statement should be exactly from there. So even if you mess up, you can just go back and do something like this. Okay, be very careful with this. The indentation has to be perfect. Okay, otherwise it is going to create a lot of problems for you, because this is just a very small program and there is only one statement. So in case it is not showing you the error, but you work with other IDEs, this is a very simple IDE that we have. With other IDEs, it normally shows you error for even for a single statement. Okay, but make sure you follow this indentation very carefully, because it has a meaning, because this statement comes under this if condition. Okay, so that's it for today, children. So we're going to meet tomorrow again.